Hello, welcome to The Connectors, the official CCBC Connection podcast, where we find the connections between us all. We are your hosts, Ian Kafis.
Keith Ansett. Today we have Precious Oke, student reporter for The Connection with us. He's here today to discuss his article, Student Loan Forgiveness and Cancellation.
Precious, thank you for being here today. Would you mind introducing yourself? What is your major and why did you join The Connection?
My name is Precious Oke, a sophomore at CCBC. My major is mass communication, and I plan to transfer to Towson University and get a bachelor's degree in that, and basically do get into PR.
Oh, wow.
That's the plan. Yep.
So your article, Precious, was spot on with the information that you provided. It was a clear-cut read, and I really enjoyed it. It's just so much information that it was pretty difficult for me to come up with questions because you were so spot on. So my first question is, since your article was published, is there anything new that you've learned post-production about student debt forgiveness?
I might have seen on the news that the plan with this was Joe Biden tried to get into canceling, I think, $10,000 of student loans, and the Democrats, they tried to come up with a different idea, and they was trying to get him to cancel $50K, but I think he ended up going with the $10K idea. I'm not so sure. I might have seen in the news that he went for the $10K instead, because I remember putting in my article that he rejected the override, which was the $50K they came up with. So he might have gone with the $10K. I'm not so sure though.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's good that you stay abreast with what's going on, especially because you wrote this article.
Yep.
So for sure, tell us what prompted you to write this article.
So I actually do not have no student loans, and for the class I'm taking, right, the MCOM 152 class, we basically, at the beginning of the semester, right, we basically had to we had to do a discussion, right, and pretty much talk about what articles we're going to be doing all semester long. So I pretty much was like, all right, I'm going to just do articles that are straight up about, student life and, things that affect students. So the first one that came on my mind was student loan cancellation, because most people got student loans, and that's a big part of, being, a student, going to a 2-year or 4-year college. So, and then I saw on the news about, and that was around the time Joe Biden also became the president, and the first student loan cancellation was pretty much the first things he talked about working on and, trying to change and stuff. So I was like, all right, I could make this my first article for the class. So I pretty much did my research on the amount of student loans students owe, and how much students, owe student loans, and the plan Joe Biden came up with, the plan the Democrats came up with. And that's how I got into it, and that's why I did the article.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I just want to say, I know I have seen some opponents of student loan forgiveness. Your argument is usually something along the lines of like, well, I paid off my student loans with my part-time job. Right. Why can't you?
Right.
Is there anything that you could point to that either refutes that or like why this was different now?
I mean, they kind of do have a point, because if they paid off theirs, I guess they're assuming everybody else can pay off their student loans too. Get out of college, get a job, set up a payment plan, whatever you got to do, just make sure the loans are paid off. But I feel like if the loans can be at least like if a percentage of the loans can be forgiven, that kind of helps, people out, because like I said in my article, you don't got to get out of college thinking about, all right, look, I just want to get a job, trying to pay off this loan. You can pretty much get out of college and, set milestones, I want to get a house, I want to build a family, a future. Canceling student loans pretty much help you with that. And, with this day and age, everybody's looking for quick money, fast money. And when you do get some money, having student loans is like right there too. And that kind of affects the old plan you have, starting off college in the first place. So, yeah. So, those that paid off the student, I'm not saying they're probably going to get some money back, but I guess it is what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, like, I know in your article you mentioned about how student loan crisis, I believe you said, is the definitely in the top 5 most accrued debt, like nationwide.
Right.
And that definitely wasn't necessarily always the case. Like these costs just keep rising and rising. And I believe your article also points out that wages have been pretty stagnant.
Yep.
So I've been doing a little research as well, Precious. Your article has kind of inspired me to see what's going on in the world. And what I've come up with is countries like Canada and England, their borrowers don't begin repaying education debt until they're earning like a substantial income, right? Switzerland and Germany, they don't charge tuition at all. So I kind of wanted to get some of your thoughts about that.
I mean, with Germany, that's a pretty good system, you know, where students don't really have to pay to go to school. And I feel like if that was the case in the US, that would be pretty nice too, because a lot more students would want to go to, you know, college, you know, because like with what I've seen, you know, it's like students go to high school and pretty much just, you know, call it quit. Like, yeah, I'm not about to get into going to college, trying to pay off some loans at the end of the day. Like, I don't got no time for that. I'm gonna get out of high school, get me a little job, make me a little money, and, you know, try to build a life. But you feel me? So if we was to have that type of system in the US, I feel like, you know, people don't even got to worry about loans in the first place. All you got to worry about is, do you want to go to college or not?
That's right.
And, you know, people can just go to college and the system pretty much will work out in the US.
Very, very, very good deep thoughts. I really appreciate you being here.
You're making a lot of really good points, Precious.
Thank you.
Does anyone, before we move on, is there anything else anyone wants to touch on?
Not really. I just would like to mention the fact that when I was doing research for the article, I found out, I mean, I wasn't surprised about it, but I kind of found out that African Americans tend to, you know, take out loans more than, you know, Caucasian Americans. So it says, I mean, the article says the stats is 87% of Black students attending four-year colleges take out more loans than 60% of white students. And, you know, that's not surprising, but that's kind of interesting too, that more Black people obviously are trying to go to school, but then the idea of having to, you know, go through tuitions and, you know, taking out loans, that pretty much discourages, you know, them from going to college. So I feel like if there's a system that could work to maybe forgive the loans or even make tuition completely free, we could get more Black people in schools, and, you know, they can make better lives for themselves, and, you know, yeah,
that's definitely very important.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier you're planning on transferring into Towson. How do you plan on paying for that when you do transfer?
Actually do not have no plans yet, but hey, if I gotta take out some loans, I gotta do what I gotta do, man.
I'm in the exact same boat. That is, if someone asked me the same question, that's what I'd say.
Yep. I'm just trying to get through CCBC, you know, graduate and try to figure it out, you know, with the transfer and the tuition and all of that.
Well, it's a great thing that you wrote this article to open people's eyes and kind of make them aware of what's happening in our world, you know?
Yep.
Well, we're about to run up on time, but Precious, do you have any new articles coming out soon?
Yeah, actually, but this is strictly about like CCBC and so I'm doing a piece about the learning management system transition from Blackboard to Brightspace, and I just got my rough draft back from I did send my Professor Kaplan a rough draft, and I just got back some feedbacks from him, and I just, you know, that's what I'm working on right now, you know, trying to put it out there that, you know, students can get aware that the new LMS is going to be Brightspace from the summer, which starts in June, I think, and Blackboard is pretty much, you know, it's going to expire. We're going to stop using there. So that's really what I'm working on, you know, currently.
That is actually news to me. So I will definitely be reading your article, and hopefully we can have you back on when that gets published.
Oh, okay, sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here, Precious.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you one more time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Precious, for being with us today. For more student articles, go to blog.ccbcmd.edu/connection. While you're there, be sure to scroll down to the bottom and subscribe so you don't miss any new articles.
This podcast is produced and hosted by New Media Collective students Keith Anstead, Atia Robinson, and Ian Kafis. Thank you to Ian Kafis for editing and sound design. Our theme music is Man Out of Town by Forget the Whale. See you next time.